Hi everybody, in this ViaRender video, I'm going to take a look at 4 really common beginner mistakes in Twinmotion. We'll identify what the mistake is. I'll talk about the steps that I use to go and fix it. Alright, let's go ahead and get into it. First mistake that we want to look at is really evident in the screen right there in front of you. And it is the lack of beveled edges. Look at how sharp that edge is. Now this is a really common mistake that I see quite a lot, especially if you're a SketchUp to Twinmotion user, because by default SketchUp does not yet have a proper bevel edges function, which is ridiculous because it's almost about to be 2026. But why? Don't know. However, the reason you want to bevel those edges is quite simply, this is unrealistically sharp looking. And no matter what you do lighting wise or path trace or illumine, this is not going to look good because there's no surface in reality that has these perfectly sharp edges. Everything is a beveled edge. You can get away with it with the camera being really far back, but generally speaking, you'll want some form, even if it's a basic bevel like this, some sort of lip on your actual models. How you fix this is relatively simple, but you are going to pay for it. If you are in SketchUp, you've got a couple of options. You can try using the SketchUp native tools, but let's be honest, they're terrible for beveling and giving an edge to things. They'll run really nicely on one edge, and then they'll just kind of stop working because they're terrible. So you're looking at other extensions. So in this case, we've got a couple. Now there's an older one, Round Corner from Fredo, which is one that I've used. Now there is also a newer Fredo, I say newer, relatively newer, Round Corner by Fredo. However, in order to access this, you will have to purchase it from Sketchucation, which means you'll have to install multiple extensions, and it does cost $15, which is not a huge amount. It is definitely money well spent. Now the other option is if we go to the extension warehouse really quickly and we just type in bevel, and you'll see our options are super limited here. The other option is Bevel by MindSight Studios. Now I've not used this. This one is also paid, costs about $49. I don't know if that license is perpetual. This one does look really, really sweet to work with, and I'll probably pick this up in the new year. You have got to bevel your edges. You cannot necessarily get away with having sharp edges unless it's just miles away in the camera. And this is so true for interiors. One of the reasons your interiors are going to look bad is, well, everything's going to be too sharp. So bevel your edges. The next common beginner mistake that I see is only relying on the Twinmotion foliage. So take a look here. This is one of the older models. It's a Rosa Canon. It's a white rose model. It's not particularly great looking. You can see how sloppy the foliage kind of looks here. This is a model I bought from CD Trader for about $4. Now, it's not, it doesn't have the most high fidelity leaf normal map, but it's really, really nice. I'm going to show you here. In terms of vegetation, we've got library, vegetation, and we've got some bushes, but these are very outdated looking now. They do not look good, and if you're relying on these, your renders will not look good at all. Now, we do also have options for trees, but look at this. This is very limited. And while we have some much newer, shinier ones that we can download and that I think are going to be a little bit better, it's still not a massive library of foliage. And then finally we can be like, oh, but hold on, ViaRender, we can go to the mega scans. Yeah, you can. And we do have lots of options in here, but for a lot of architectural rendering, we need more types of specific things, which is basically going to be landscape foliage, big shrubbery, and a lot more trees, and you're not going to get them in Twinmotion. Just look at this ivy here. In order to get a really dense looking ivy, I'm having to stack lots of different Megascans models, even some of this really old Twinmotion ivy model, which honestly looks terrible at this point. That's just, what is that? And using decals. Whereas in other programs, you already just have a vine library. And so I think that's kind of problematic. So how do we fix this? Well, think of it like this. Twinmotion is free. But if you want really good foliage acids, you're going to have to pay for it. And so there's a couple of places that we can go that are really good. Let's go here. CG Trader is where I picked up that hydrangea model. It's really good. It's really good if you know what you're looking for, or if you find a seller and you've bought some of this stuff before and you really like it. You're looking specifically for FBX models for Twinmotion, and you will have to assign all the materials manually. But once you do that, you can just add it to your local library. CG Trader, I'm finding that the quality is a bit better than some other sites out there. This I like a lot. iMesh. I have talked about iMesh a gazillion million times, and I'll keep talking about them because it's just the absolute best library of stuff. Now, iMesh is primarily intended as a blender, sort of like if you're doing ArcViz and Blender, and you need like, I need a, well, whatever this red mushroom lamp thing is. But their foliage is brilliant. Now, I hope they keep adding to it. They only have a handful, really, 187 models at the moment. But some of these models are going to be brilliant. And look at these trees. I used these recently on a project, and I really, really like the result I got. More specifically, I used their weeping willow tree model. This guy here, I think, it's just absolutely brilliant. Much better quality than what you're going to get by default in Twinmotion. Now, the last one is MaxTree. This is really common. A lot of people who've been using Twinmotion for a while will use this. However, what's really cool is if we go to MaxTree and we go sort, we can sort by price, low to high. Go ahead and click filter. And you'll notice here, we've got a free pack, another free pack, and then, yeah, like 2 little $5 packs. This will give you a really nice set to work with. It's going to be a diverse range of different plants and trees and stuff. Doesn't matter. They're high poly. They look really, really good. And I think the only drawback with MaxTree is just they are prohibitively expensive. You know, you're looking at about $100 a pack for the high poly models, and you need to be very specific on which ones you're getting. So I'm like in Texas, so I'm going to need some sort of like Southern and North American trees. That's it. I won't necessarily need all of the sort of tropical foliage. These are the libraries that I found to be the best at the moment. If I had to pick one right now, I would again go with iMesh because you can get all of this amazing stuff. And right now, I think it's about $17 a month. It's just the absolutely highest quality library of stuff out there at the moment. Don't use just the Twinmotion foliage. Not all of it looks good. Some of it is aged really badly. This is supposed to be a crepe myrtle, and it doesn't look like a crepe myrtle. Not really sure what that is. Next common beginner mistake I see is pertaining to camera and the camera setup within Twinmotion. It's not always possible to say here is exactly what you need to do. So what I'm going to say is here is a basic beginner guide for how to set up your camera. Firstly, do not have your camera high up pointing down, like this just looks terrible. Do not put your camera really, really, really low down to the ground. This also looks just really, really terrible. When in doubt, just put it to an average eyeline height of about 5 or 6 feet off the ground. Now the next thing is the actual camera settings. And so here is a foolproof way just to start. So with myself out of the way, by the way, you always want auto exposure off. You want to set the exposure yourself. White balance, unless you're being fancy, ignore it. And tint, unless you're being fancy, just ignore it. Local exposure, you will always want to tweak these. That's just a given. Okay, other than that, camera, focal length. This is why so many renders, when people just start out, look bad. It's why mine looked bad when I started out. It's why everyone's does. It's always the focal length. The biggest issue for people is going to be they'll set up all their materials and their lighting, and then they'll render and be like, why does my image look flat or wrong? It is the focal length. So when in doubt, put this to just 35. Just straight up off the bat, 35 millimeters. It'll bring everything like from the back closer together. It'll bring the viewer into the space. There's a reason like 35 millimeter cameras were so big for so long and have made a kind of comeback at the moment. Other than that, details. Vignetting, it's optional, but it just looks cool, so like use them. Sharpness, you always want a little smidge of sharpness, somewhere between 10 and 20%. Now, the other thing is parallelism. Straighten those edges. So parallelism will literally just straighten the edges. That's it. I promise you, if your renders look bad, your interiors or your exteriors, and you're like, I don't know what's going on, all of my students this year, this is the exact thing I just taught them. 35 millimeter camera, parallelism turned on, auto exposure set manually, little dash of sharpness, and then you also just want to adjust the local exposure. That's it. It's that easy. Start with that. and hopefully you'll like the results. Now, please keep in mind, if you're doing portrait shots like this, your focal length, the millimeter, might actually have to go up even higher, all the way up to 35, 45, 55, whatever. But start at 35. The last tip I want to mention for new Twinmotion beginner users is overly dramatic skies. I'm literally guilty of this. Look at this. Like, oh, wow, it's so dramatic. There's a couple of problems with this. Firstly, new users, myself included back in the day, and like not that long ago, sometimes these dramatic skies will like serve a function. But oftentimes they're used by beginners just to hide like bad modeling or bad design. They're visually appealing on one level, on a very shallow level. But then if you look beyond that, this filled with mistakes like, you know, poor modeling, bad framing, crappy models, things like that. Dramatic skies are not that useful for like architectural rendering. A simple trick, if you want to just avoid like excessively dramatic, like that is ridiculous. I don't know why I did that. I like the result, but it's ridiculous. What we want to do is just have a handful of stock skies that we can use. And so if we're looking for these stock skies, I want to show you, I'm going to just heart the ones that I've picked already here. So obviously, if you've seen any 3D rendering recently, you've seen the John Klim or Lasha B kind of look, which is that overcast, which is the Lenong sky. You can again place these in. You will have to go in here and tweak some of these other settings to get a good result. You want really dark shadows with an overcast sky, really sort of dark areas, and then everything else is sort of medium to high. So Lenong is a great sky for that. If we're looking for like a blue sky, something that we can like, you know, we want a daytime shot, this one here, this 43D Clear 8, this actually came from Polyhaven. It's downloaded in 8K from Polyhaven. I'll try and link out to the exact one here. Within Twinmotion, though, we've got some other ones that are really lovely. The Blueberg Sunrise is going to look like that, and I think that's absolutely gorgeous. You will be able to like adjust the rotation, but to me, that's just an absolutely perfect sky. One other one that looks really, really good is this, the Fontaine OD Clear. So this is this guy right here. So Cypher Fontaine OD Clear, don't know what that means, but that's a gorgeous sky, and that will make your work look really, really good. Now, there's a couple of others. Again, we've got these from Polyhaven, but if we want, like, if you're like, I just demand a dramatic sky, think about the Kira 1 Dome. This is a nice one. It's still a little bit too bright for my taste, but you can kind of spin this a little bit. You can get a really nice result with this. And this will complement those desert shots or anything like that really, really nicely. Here's the thing, just go through the HRI environments, try every single one of them. I'm not joking, just download them all, whatever, it's fine. And then heart the ones that you like, or just use this batch here. Some of them are really amazing and some of them are terrible. Just please avoid like overly dramatic skies, because it's not going to make your work look really good, honestly.